delighted to say that Ronan Michael joins us in studio. If you don't know who Ronan Michael is, you're probably going to get to know him a bit more over the next couple of years. He is Ireland's newest rugby league player, newest professional rugby league player. I think it's fair to say Huddersfield Giants have just signed him on a one-year academy contract, and I'm absolutely delighted to say he joins me in studio now. Ronan, you're very welcome.
Oh, thanks, Will. I'm delighted to be here. Absolutely amazing.
So you're part of the Huddersfield Giants setup now. It's a one-year academy contract, and initially when you see that, it's like, this guy's been playing rugby league and rugby league only all his life. That's not the case.
No, not at all. No, I'm playing rugby league less than 2 years at this stage. I only started at the beginning of 2017, and now I'm sitting here in the studio absolutely amazed.
How did it happen so quickly?
I had to take a break from rugby union, and then we were looking for other opportunities, other sports to be playing, sevens, and obviously you've seen maybe rugby league on the TV, I don't know, the NRL or whatever, but never really heard about it in Ireland. So then I just came across Rugby League Ireland, and I just got involved and started playing, and then played 2 games against Wales last year with Ireland under 17s versus Wales under 16s, and I got seen there and headed over to Huddersfield for a week in February with a few other lads, and then got the opportunity to come back on trial in July.
So that was February this year and July this year.
Yeah.
And in between that, it was your Leaving Cert.
It was my Leaving Cert indeed.
Pretty busy year for you, pretty successful 2018 for you, I dare say.
Oh, well, yeah, so far it's been great, and hopefully you can continue on the success with the next few weeks with the Ireland Seniors in the European Championships.
Talk to us about that period when you're doing the Leaving Cert, when you're preparing for a trial for what becomes your first professional contract in sport, and you've got the heads in the books. It must have been a fairly busy time, let's say.
Oh, yeah, we were flat out during that time. I suppose I was focusing on the Leaving Cert. After I went for the first week in February, I kind of put it to the back of my mind. I was like, right, heads down for the Leaving Cert. But then, luckily enough, I got offered to come back to Huddersfield just after the Leaving Cert. So during the time of the Leaving Cert, I was training away just with the Longhorns in Ireland up in Ashburn, and playing with their senior team, playing rugby league there, and just keeping the head in the books at the same time. Using rugby league as kind of a way to get away from the Leaving Cert, a way to de-stress, and just giving me something alternative to focus on.
Yeah, and it was out of necessity, really. Like, alternatively, if you were playing sport as just a hobby, because this isn't just a hobby, this is now your career, probably. So people who are doing the Leaving Cert often just drop the sport. It's like, let me just focus on the books for 6 months, which doesn't necessarily need to lead to a huge improvement in results. In actual fact, it can go the opposite way. I think you were speaking just before we came on air there, just about a healthy mindset, that just being active and like that necessity to be active during the Leaving Cert really helps.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, I suppose I used playing sport as just a way to de-stress and just detach from the exams, because that's all you hear during school, and after school you're thinking about studying and you're thinking about exams. So when I was playing sport, I was focusing on something else, because I knew before my Leaving Cert happened that I was going to be going back over to Huddersfield on a trial. So while I was doing my exams, I was focused on my exams, but then I had a way of something else to focus on, so the exams weren't the be-all and end-all. And in the end, that worked out better for me. That made my exams actually go better, because I didn't have just one pathway, one direct route. I had another thing coming down the line, and obviously I didn't know what would happen, but it was a way of de-stressing and taking my mind off the exams and having something else going on for me.
How easy have you found the transition into rugby league from rugby union?
Oh, well, I found personally that I didn't think it was too bad, because I played back row in rugby union, 8 or 7, or now maybe more of a 6, but I didn't, like, I wasn't a prop forward or a second row, which are very specific positions in rugby union. They have specific roles. I was kind of more of an all-round player. And then transition into rugby league, although it's a very different sport, you have the basic skills from rugby union, and with an open mindset and going into the sport saying, okay, I played rugby union, I was a decent rugby union player, but I'm going into a new sport now, and you have to go in with an open mindset and believe that, okay, I'm going to have to learn this from the start, from the basics. It might seem simple. Like, I remember my first 3 rugby league training sessions was literally just learning how to play the ball,
right,
and just learning how to get my footwork right. And I was like, oh wow, this is dragging on, isn't it? But then you realise going in that these are the most important skills that you can know.
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned there, picking up the basic skills. So for your entire rugby league playing career so far, you've been in a learning mindset, and I'm sure that helps going into your first professional setting. So any other person who goes into their first professional setting, they've been in their learning mindset from, say, the ages of 6 to 10 or whatever it may be, when they're learning the basics of their sport, and then they grow out of that learning mindset to a certain extent. They develop an ego in other extents, particularly if you're wildly successful. For you, I guess you'd be quite naturally humble, I think, and also you've had to maintain that learning mindset because this is still quite a new sport for you, which is all keeping you quite grounded, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing, I suppose. Like, playing with Ireland last year, you kind of think like, oh wow, this is great, isn't it? I'm putting on the jersey. I've only been playing a couple of months. I'm already playing for Ireland, and then you realise, okay, wait, you have to take it a humble pill. You have to step back a bit when you go into a more professional environment like Huddersfield, or when I'm going to go in with the seniors. You have to be like, okay, these players have been playing longer than me. They played the sport since a young age, since they're this high. And then you're going to actually go into this environment and try take as much information as you can. You literally have to eat up information and just stay attent and listening at all times to what your coaches have to say.
Is it fair to say then that they see you as somebody in Huddersfield who they can mould into an outstanding player, that they see not only your current set of skills, but your mindset, as you kind of illuminated upon just there, your ability and your hunger to learn more and more?
Yeah, well, I suppose going over there on trial, I had to stay open-minded and bring the right attitude, because it would have been all good if I was a decent enough player, an all right player. But if I went into that experience and that setup and just went in with an ego and went in thinking that I knew it all and didn't actually try learn from the people who are better players than me and know more than me, then they would have been like, okay, this lad's all right, a decent player, but he has the wrong attitude. He's not trying to learn. So I literally had to go in there and just start a fresh slate and just try taking everything that I could. And even if the trial didn't work out, luckily for me it did, and I did get a 1-year contract. But even if it didn't, I had to try take as much information back to Ireland and say, okay, this is how they play the game over in England, and this is what we can learn from how they play the game.
You talk about open-mindedness there, and you talk about taking information from one place to another, and the cross-pollination of different sports is quite fascinating with you, because you picked up jiu-jitsu with regards to furthering your rugby league performance.
Yeah, well, just there last year in 2017, I'd been to about 1 or 2 rugby league training sessions with Casey Dunn, Tony Dale, Wayne Kerr, who has Paul Vaga and Paul Cullen. They were all around with the under-17s with Ireland, and I strolled in to just take up jiu-jitsu. A few of my mates were going, so I said, all right, I'll give this a go. And Casey's lying there, and I'm a bit confused. I'm like, this lad's a rugby league player. What's he doing jiu-jitsu? And then later on, I came to realise that actually these skills come across, you know. You need to know how to wrestle to play rugby league. And then I learned that my Gaelic footballing skills, because I played Gaelic football with OTBAM and Balbriggan, and that's coming in as well. And my rugby union skills are coming in, and all these different things I've learned, they're actually all coming into this sport, you know. And I bring different things across. Like, likewise, when I've been back over playing Gaelic football this time around during my off-season with OTBAM, when I've been training with them, I'm taking in rugby league skills that I've learned and bringing it to...
What sort of skills, would you be bringing into playing with OTBAM from rugby league?
Well, I think that being over in England, like, I've learned, like, I have to be fit, and I have to be a lot quicker with what I do, and my hands have gotten a lot quicker because I'm playing in that environment where you have to get things right, you know. It's not that it's under pressure, but you want to do things right, you want to impress, you know what I mean? And then you notice you're dropping less ball, you're quicker, you're more mobile, and that's one of the major things I've learned playing rugby league. I'm more mobile than I was, and the coming across from different sports actually helps, because you have to, every time you come across a different sport, you have to be like, okay, people know more than me in this environment. You need to take a step back. You need to just sit back and listen and learn. And I suppose that rugby union can come across as well.
It strikes me that rugby league is one of the best sports in the world for that cross-pollination of different sports. We can see a bit of you on screen there, by the way, for anybody watching us, that you look at some very specific examples, like Sam Burgess is a classic example. Like, I wonder, does he kind of sum up the attitude of rugby league, where it's like they take the best parts from other sports, and there's no sort of snobbery about the idea that you had to be a league player all your life to succeed in league. Now, granted, Sam Burgess was league pretty much all his life, went to union and came back, and here's Ben Teo as well. Like, you know what I'm trying to say here, that there is sort of an open sort of coming and going with rugby league. I think particularly in Ireland as well, where I guess numbers aren't as big as rugby league would like it to be, and therefore if you've played union, you'd be welcomed with open arms. There is no snobbery, as I say, and it's a benefit for everybody. Yeah,
I agree. I think that, like, there's so many great rugby union players in Ireland, and so much potential Gaelic football as well. And coming into rugby league, like, we'd welcome you with open arms. I know all the lads at the Longhorns and all the other clubs, amateur clubs in Ireland, the Galway Tribesmen, Waterford Vikings, Dublin City Exiles, all the clubs up north. They'd all love players just coming in saying, listen, I want to give this sport a go, I want to learn. That's all the attitude you need to take, and people will take you in. And it is, although it is a different sport, you will pick it up and you will learn. And the lads, obviously at my amateur club with the Longhorns, they just took me in, they took me under the wing, and they were just like, right, we'll have a bit of crack and you'll learn the sport and you'll get out playing with us. And that was what it was all about, just getting around with the lads. And then I was playing with Ireland as well, and all the lads in Ireland, we all just get around each other, and it's just a good sport. And I think that the rugby union players can come across as well.
There you are, belting out the national anthem. You'll be doing it for the seniors soon. You're involved with the squad for the European Championships playing this Saturday.
Yeah. Luckily, I was named in the 35, and I've got news. I'm named in the 20-man squad coming up for the Ireland-Scotland game. So it's been surreal just how short I've been playing the game, and getting named in the senior squad. It's just been amazing. And then getting to play for Ireland and Serbia as well with the under-19s in European Championships. That was all just a great experience of understanding how to work in a team in an environment when you're on camp and you're getting around the lads, and you learn a lot from that on and off the pitch. You learn about how you should behave around different players who you're learning more from, and lads who know more than you. And then you learn about on the pitch, right, when you're wearing that jersey, you're belting out the anthem, it's your family, your friends, you're all in, you're all in for each other. If one's in, we're all in.
How do you find the senior setups? Obviously with Ireland for kind of a short enough period now, you've been obviously in with the seniors for Huddersfield over the course of the summer, and you will of course over the next year. Have they taken you under their wing? Are you seen as kind of like their protege in both camps?
Prodigy, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right term for me. I don't know about that, but yeah. Well, with the senior domestics, we've been out with them the last 3 weeks, just getting involved with the seniors, and when I've been with Huddersfield first team as well, just for team runs and that, just helping out with numbers, they've all just taken me in, the Irish lad. It's a bit of crack being over there. I speak a bit funny to them, and they speak funny to me, but it's all just good-hearted banter, and when I'm in with them, they'll be like, right, when we're training, we're serious, but then they'll take me out, and if I'm doing something, they can be like, all right, Ronan, just pick up on this or whatever, and then we'll go back in. It's no hard feelings with it, they know more than me, and I understand that, so they'll help me out, and that'll be it.
Yeah. It sounds like maybe your enthusiasm about rugby league is infectious. It sounds like Irish Rugby League is in a position to grow quite substantially with the right backing and with the right resources and with the right people in charge over the next couple of years. It's in quite a good place.
Oh yeah, well, I'm happy to say that I'm looking to be like a stepping stone for people. I want to create that path showing that, yeah, there actually is something that can come up if you're playing well with Irish Rugby League. And it's unfortunate that less people aren't getting involved, and if we got more numbers and more people saying, okay, I'll give this a go, coming across from Union, coming across from Gaelic football, next thing you know, we'd have a proper setup, and it would be on the news, it would be on the telly, and there would be people saying, okay, Rugby League Ireland, what's this all about? Let's get involved. It's good crack, good fun, good sport.
Well, I'm sure more people are going to be paying closer attention to rugby league over in the UK next year. Obviously, it's on television all the time over here, and I don't think we pay enough attention to it. But you're providing us with a decent enough excuse to get behind Huddersfield Giants next year. Just one last question. It seems like a weird question to ask anybody who's just signed their first contract in a professional sport, but between rugby league, between rugby union, between GAA, between jiu-jitsu, you've got a platform, a suite of different sports that you've kind of partook in the last year or so. Is rugby league going to be your career now, and that's where you'll finish as a professional sportsman?
Well, I dream of it. I'd love to play in the Super League, keep playing with Ireland, represent my country, and be that person who says, this is the lad, he's one of the first lads who ever made it over across the pond. I'd say that would be a dream, but that's not to say that I don't like rugby union or I don't like Gaelic football anymore, because I think that there's skills from every single one of those sports that you can take back to each other. And I just think that the way rugby league has worked out over the short period of time I've been playing it, it's just kind of snowballed for me. Like, it's just one thing led to another, and you sometimes you just have to take it, just grab it with both hands and just go for it, because sometimes, it's just destiny or whatever you may say about it. But I 2 years ago, I'd nearly never heard of Rugby League Ireland, and then now I'm sitting here in the studio just over the moon with everything. It's all happened so quick, and I've just been like, you just have to take it, you just have to go for it while you have the chance. And if things don't work out, you know, you can say, right, I'd rather me say, oh, I wasn't good enough, I gave it a good shot, rather than say, I wonder if this or that happened.
Yeah, it's a very good attitude to have. It's Ireland against Scotland this Saturday in the European Championships. There is World Cup places on the line throughout the European Championships, so it's high-stakes stuff. The World Cup, of course, in 2021. But Ronan Michael, he's your new Huddersfield Giants player with a 1-year academy contract. Keep an eye out for him. Ronan Michael, thank you so much.
Thanks, Emil. It's been a great time.